doesn't like music? Music is the way we think of points of time in our life. Hearing a song just brings us right back to that time. But can it help you and your children focus? Stay tuned and we'll find out. Music has a great number of advantages when it comes to ADD. Several experts in the field note that executive functioning is a core part of the cognitive symptoms with ADD. And a 2014 study that involved brain imaging showed that it improved executive functioning in both kids and adults. So, can music be used to increase focus? Absolutely. For children, focus can be as elusive as trying to put fog in a bottle. The brain for somebody with ADD is differently wired. Some people with ADD have smaller frontal lobes. It's the area of the brain which controls concentration and impulse control. There may be many different neural pathways controlling issues such as attention. Music can be a way of helping kids with ADD concentrate and study, even when the brain's wiring says, yeah, that's not going to happen really easily. The impulse for parents is to put your child in this quiet room with bare walls to reduce distraction. And some kids are really distractible, even things like flickering light or small sounds. This is really true for so many kids, and teachers do this. What they seek to do is totally isolate a child to reduce that total stimulation. On one hand, this has its benefits, but it's not all they can do. For the ADD brain, music can actually help rather than be a distraction. That's because, believe it or not, music can affect the chemistry of the brain. Now, your brain needs certain chemicals to focus. Some children achieve this with medication, but this may have side effects. Another strategy is to grant them their wish and plug in those headsets and let them listen to music. I particularly like noise canceling headsets for both children and adults. I use them myself. Music, unlike general noise, causes the brain to produce more of the chemical dopamine. We all notice how music kind of lifts our mood and makes us feel happier. Well, that's dopamine being released. It increases these levels of dopamine, and in the brain, it acts like a motivation molecule. It helps the brain function and do more of what it needs to do and actually become more productive. Dopamine also works to help memory and even motivation to do complex tasks. Well, we're talking about music today, and let me take a side venture. I would really appreciate a thumbs up and a share if this is a useful presentation for you. If it's useful for you, it might be useful for other people too. And that's the goal of this platform. So let's go on. The effect of music has been studied for literally decades. There are studies involving measuring how the music of Mozart affects intelligence and focus. One study looked at children taking keyboard lessons while the others listened to music. They measured the impact of music on one's ability to perform task-driven tests. This result became called the Mozart effect. It activates a part of the brain responsible for spatial reasoning and therefore improves tasks that demand that spatial temporal reasoning. Generally, if you are going to use music, don't use music that has a lot in the way of words, with some exceptions. Everyone knows that music is a way of stress relief. In the UK, a group of scientists measured specific tunes that actually give you the most bang for your buck. And I'm going to put this playlist in the show notes. Make sure you take a look. These are all available on Spotify, and you can literally make yourself a focused concentration playlist. Well, anyway, back to the study. Participants had to solve difficult puzzles as quickly as possible, all wired up to sensors. Now, puzzles are a little bit stressful when you're doing them on a timed basis. Participants would listen to different songs while researchers measured brain activity, as well as a number of things like physiological state, like blood pressure and heart rate. Music is just as good for adults as it is for children. I find that when I'm doing a repetitive, boring task, binaural beats are really particularly helpful. And you can readily find these on YouTube. Now, binaural beats are an auditory illusion, and it's created by listening to two tones of slightly different frequency, one in each ear. The best effect is found using a headset, but I often listen to them on the speaker on my computer, and it's helpful nevertheless. The different frequencies create an illusion of a third sound, a rhythmic beat. Neurons throughout the brain begin to send out electrical messages at the same rate as this imaginary beat. Now, there's a lot of research out there that show that this particular type of sound improves concentration, it improves creativity, and it improves recall. I suggest you turn on YouTube, plug in binaural beats, give them a try. I think you'll find them helpful. So this has been G.H. Glade for Coaching ADD. And if this was a useful presentation, give me a thumbs up and send it to somebody you might know that's struggling, because good information is best not sat on. Until next week, which is Monday, we'll see you then. Have a great day.